Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, yeah. Only, only classics can go on my wall. Only classics. This is a classic right here. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's your boy Lil Spunks, man. It's been a minute. Um, Today I want to make a video because I just seen the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I want to give my opinion on it and what I thought about it. So first off, I want to go by saying that I was really excited to go and see this. But beforehand, I did watch Fast X, and that did disappoint me a lot. So I was praying, that this movie was actually going to be good. Okay, I was praying that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, I'm a little excited to talk about this, so I'm messing up on my words, would be great. And to let you know, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Me, personally, watching that movie, I will say now that is my favorite Spider-Man movie probably of all time. You can say it's recency bias. I don't think so. Me watching it, I was amazed and surprised that it was actually 2 hours and some minutes. It was flying past me. I had a roller coaster ride watching it. The only reason I would give the edge on Across the Spider-Verse on No Way Home, which was previously my favorite. You can say that was recency bias too, but I thought that the story on Across the Spider-Verse was like blowing it out the water. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the things that made me love the movie so much, and how I felt like coming out of it. Okay, so first of all, the soundtrack. Metro Boomin really do be making it boom. Metro Boomin really be making it boom, bruh. That soundtrack was fucking incredible. That need an Emmy or Oscar, whatever it is that they give them for soundtracks and movies. That needs that. Animation, that needs an Oscar or something like that too. I will push for it, the story too, but I doubt it because they don't really show that much love to comic book movies, especially the times now. It's mostly looking like a whole bunch of propaganda and stuff like that. But those are the first few things I want to touch upon. The other thing, Miles Morales, the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, I liked it a lot, but I didn't think it was as good as a lot of people say it was. I thought it was a very great and solid movie. I wouldn't put it up there with all the other Spider-Man movies. A lot of people said it was the greatest. I didn't think so at the time. This one I actually think it does, because this time it gets more spotlight on who. The last one gave a lot of spotlight on who Miles Morales was, but it actually touched on this time a lot of stuff that people of my race and stuff can actually relate to. Like, one thing that they touched upon that I really dug with, it was like, I don't want to say it, I'm not saying it was verbatim that she said this, but it was a conversation with Miles' mom and him where they talking about how minorities don't really make it out, and they was like pushing them to be somebody, even though they think that it's hard to explain, right? They wanted him to be somebody that could make it out, basically. And a lot of people in around my community and stuff all across the world, especially minorities and African Americans, Spanish, Puerto Ricans, and that type of stuff. They struggle actually making it out. So I feel like this movie actually made Miles Morales way more relatable than he was in the first movie, and I really loved that. The culture, they had a lot of cultural things going on in the movie. They did in the first one, but I actually really liked it in this one too. The cameos was incredible. They basically had everybody in the movie. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna say spoiler alert. If you don't want to know some things, I ain't really gonna touch on that much. But spoiler alert right now. If you don't want to hear no more, click off. But they basically have every Spider-Man in in MCU history besides like Tom Holland, which I think he probably gonna be in the future anyway. So that was incredible. The whole thing about Spider-Man 2099's backstory with him, like him actually he what was it? His version in a different universe actually died, and he replaced that person. And they actually used the word canon, which I really liked. I thought was really funny, and I really liked that. Even though it's an unwritten rule, you shouldn't be saying that in like movies and shit, and anime and shit, especially animes. I thought it was good here because it actually has stuff. It actually has to do with universes crossing and stuff like that, and all these different genres of Spider-Man versus connecting with each other. So, but back to what I was saying, I really like Spider-Man 2099's story. With him, actually, his canon was one of his timelines or universes. He actually died and couldn't spend with his family, and he actually replaced that person with himself from his universe, and that messed up the canon to where it destroyed it cracked or it distorted or I didn't really get the gist at the end. I don't know if it was destroyed or what it was, but it looked like the universe was in shambles from his decision. So the driving force for him, like making sure all the canons is straight, and knowing that it was certain canons, even in like MCU movies, that was a very big like thing that happened. Like the MCU movies and what Dr.Strange and Spider-Man was doing was actually messing with other timelines as well, including this verse, which surprised me. Some people might say it didn't surprise them. It actually did, because it actually like indicates that everything that is like multiversal that goes on in Sony and Marvel, they're all connected in one thing. Even if it's like animations or cartoons or whatever, they are all connected, because they showed Toby and they showed Andrew and what was going on, and like how their past, they had like this person that had died that was important to their canons in their universes, which was actually pretty goddamn interesting. And the whole thing with this one was Miles. Most of the Spider-Man universes, they either had like a captain or someone important to them that had passed away that motivated them to become what they are in the future. And if you like mess that up, it can distort and destroy everything. So that was basically the plot. And with Miles, his dad was going to become a captain. So that means his dad was already fucked. Okay? I know not all of the movies, not all of the Spider-Man movies, they had captains dying. Like in Toby universe, I don't think they had a captain die, or in Tom universe, they have a captain die. But I think that was just a writing thing. I don't definitely think they didn't think that all the way through. But you know, I can get by with that. But it made it a lot intense. You see Miles fighting like a whole bunch of Spider-Mans in this sick ass scene when they're on a train and shit. It's like, oh, that shit was sick. That shit was sick, bruh. I'm like, bruh, that shit was sick, bruh. It was sick, bruh. And it made you understand, like, with Miles, though, I'm pretty sure Miles, he wouldn't have want. It's like you, right? If a person asks you, like, if a person like a mind reader or somebody from the future came to you and told you, like, hey, tomorrow, somebody that you love or you yourself are going to die in this time period, you're going to do anything to try to prevent that. It don't matter what you do. Even Gwen, she tried to, but she still had second thoughts. She still wants to save her her father at the end of the day. Because anybody will have that effect. That's why I say this movie is really goddamn relatable to people. Because these people will actually do what Miles actually did. So I love the plot line. That was cool. The whole thing about multiverses and how they explain multiverses is better than anything the MCU has done. Period. Anything the MCU or Sony has done previously before. Even in No Way Home, where I think that's like one of the best movies in Marvel history. They didn't explain the multiverse like how they did in this movie. They thoroughly dissected this shit to where it's very digestible and where you understand everything. To where you can look at Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and be like, look at them as way better movies if you watch this movie and understand what's going on, because they all correlate with each other at the end of the day with this multiverse shit. So the Sony MCU like multiverse conglomerate or whatever you say, like the WWE UFC merger, because the fucking Sony got Spider-Man back on Disney Plus and shit. They explained that shit very good. I really like that too. This movie was very funny, but it wasn't like overwhelmingly funny like Thor: Love and Thunder, where they're doing like too much comedy. Where, I mean, let me put a better example, like Ant-Man: The Quantumania, where they're having too much comedy, even in serious moments where you're like, bro, that shouldn't be there. Like they knew how to balance the comedy with the drama, because some parts of that movie I was cracking the fuck up, and some parts of that movie I was damn near about to drop a tear, bro. It was crazy, bro. Especially with the soundtracks hidden like that for each scene, bro. It was. This was a perfect movie right here, bro. I don't. If you know me, I'm critical of a lot of movies, and I didn't really. I mean, I loved the last one before this, but not to this extent. I don't usually say movies is perfect. This movie is perfect to me. This movie is absolutely perfect. This is the perfect Spider-Man movie right here. But I don't want to really spoil the rest. The ending was fucking incredible. How they ended that shit with a cliffhanger, knowing it was a part 2. It made you feel like, man, there's no more. There's no way they can end it like this. No way you gonna do us like this, Sony. No way you gonna do this like this, Sony. But the cliffhanger was amazing. Fast exit to take notes. I might do a review on that shit, but I'm gonna be shitting on that shit hard. I mean, they had a lot of good moments in there, but like there's some moments I like, come on. But that's besides the point. I'm talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I am going to take a second look at that soon. I don't know if I'm going to watch it soon in the theaters or when that come out to digital. If it come out to digital, I'm buying that shit. I'm buying that shit, bro. Like, this is an incredible movie, bro. The MCU has been back getting W's as of recent with these two. I mean, Across the Spider-Verse, technically not an MCU movie, but it kind of is. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Guardians was a fucking fire. This was fire. They're getting back understanding. Okay, now it is the Marvels. And you know how I feel about the Marvels. And you know how I feel about the Marvels. I'm probably not even going to see that shit. But if it's good, if I'm hearing it is good from a lot of people, if I'm hearing it is good from a lot of people, I will watch that shit, bro. I will watch it, man. But I think Loki gonna be good. Definitely gonna be a banger. But this is a contender of a movie of the year, bro. This shit better win some Oscars or some Emmys or whatever it is, bro. It better win some shit, bro. Cause this right here is a classic Spider-Man movie. This is, to me, my favorite, and to me, the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time right now. It's neck and neck between that and No Way Home. I had to make a tough decision last night, but as much as I like I like No Way Home more than Across the Spider-Verse because of nostalgia and, you know, character development and the villains and stuff like that. Even but Across the Spider-Verse has a great villain too. But to me, Across the Spider-Verse, they landed the multiverse better than that movie. The plot was better than that movie. It was more emotional to me in this movie, and you know, this is to me this is the perfect movie. Like, there's nothing they could have done more or less than this. This is what should be solidified as peak fiction right here. Like, for real. For real. But that's all for today. Thanks everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. As you see, I got a new camera. My bad on the Resident Evil videos. I haven't been really dropping it. There's something been going on my Adobe Premiere. If somebody would like to help me and let me know. I've been having like publishing errors. I was supposed to drop the video like I was supposed to drop videos for Resident Evil like, you know, twice. I mean, once, and then like 2 days later I'll drop it, but it's been hard because it's publishing everything on Adobe Premiere. I don't know what's going on, so I probably was gonna wait until I got my new graphics card and upgraded my PC, which I will be doing like by next week, I guess. But I'm trying to get that out there. I'm gonna do some stuff on my other channel, and oh yeah, go check out the Rec Boys podcast, our new podcast. I'm gonna putting it in the I think in the descriptions or some or in the end of the video. But you know, that's going up. Please check out our podcast. We'll be dropping like every Thursday, I guess. That is very entertaining. Thanks everybody for the feedback, and like and subscribe once again, and I'm out. Thank you.